Hi, it's Lorenzo here, and we're gonna do something slightly different today. This is State of the Program 20. 20 meaning that this episode goes with KSP Next episode 20. Um, this is in fact right after recording the footage for that episode, so it should be watched after that, and it will be in the playlist at that spot. So I'm gonna use this episode to take a little bit more time to just show you around the Space Center, where we're at, what we're doing, and why we're building the rockets that we are building. So, the overall aim of the program is to land people on Mars. Why the hell not? It seems a fun thing to do. Now, for that, we need most of all technology, and for that, we need money and time. And of course, we want to do fun things in the meantime. Now, let's visit the Research and Development Center first. Um, as you can see, we have quite a few nodes already. The most advanced technology we have is arguably improved stage combustion. That gives us basically the first stage engines on the rockets we've been launching now, and the second stage one. So recently, this one, the Hydrolux engines, have been researched, and we've already developed a rocket that utilizes those for a bigger and more efficient second stage, ironically using that to loft a even bigger, even less efficient third stage. So overall Delta V is a little bit similar to our previous rocket, but it has more engine out capability on the last stage just because it has more engines. And that's important when we start sending people. What I really want to do is get this one, like the Hydrolux proper engine. This is a high thrust throttleable 3 ignition Hydrolux engine with 424 seconds of specific impulse. This one is going to be, this is my dream second stage engine. The second stage engine we're using now is not as great. It's this one. No, it's this one. 10 ignitions, that's great, but the thrust is really low and the specific impulse is, well, it's really good. It's 422. We'll see that in a bit because we can now start to think about building that rocket. We've spent $1 million on the better launch pad, and of course we don't need the launch pad to use this engine, but I want to put this stage on a really big first stage, and together it's going to get massive, and for that we need the launch pad. So here, this is what we have been working on in the last couple of episodes, and basically that's done. One thing that we haven't developed is solid boosters. You haven't seen me use them either. At some point, I'm gonna, of course, catch up probably and strap some on the side, but for now, liquid fueled rockets, they serve my needs. In the future, I'm gonna think like at least episode 30, 40 plus, we have nuclear technology. We have reactors here, and see, none of these are compatible with RP0, which is what we're playing. But at this point, we're gonna have to like sort of accept that, I think, because I'm seeing not a lot of here. This is one, not a lot of compatible items, and that's probably, as you can see, the tree is a little bit messed up. I've also installed some near future packs, and that's of course not RP0 because there we're departing from reality. And I've yet to decide like how to handle that. I do want to like build crazy stuff like a magnetic confinement fusion reactor. Why not? Because what I want to do first is like a Mars landing with the RP0 stuff. So just to prove we can do this. We're a proper space program. I mean, we got the chops. We can do it without aids and magic, and then kind of maybe seemingly transition a little bit into the magic and future technology and properly conquer the whole solar system. Yeah, it would still be interesting because everything is still like realistic in the way of failures and fuels. Not quite sure how that's going to shake out. I think at this point I can still like safely delete the whole future tech mod, but how are we then going to get to like the next star, because that's also in the game. I modded that in. All right, something else we've got, advanced construction. Not a lot of this I actually use other than the where is it, like the procedural part diameter upgrade. This has caused us to make the rocket more bigger. Advanced flight control here. This has not been used yet, but we have unlocked it now. We have used it. This is the instrument unit we're using. Really handy with the bigger rockets we're building. And something I want to get in like the near future is this tree. Like this one is not so interesting. The second gen capsules, it doesn't have a capsule. I mean that's the thing. But then the next one has mature capsules, and that has a better launch escape system, some things, but most importantly the bigger command pod, and that will be nice for um, the longer missions. You can bring a couple of people, and of course landing technology, a lander engine here. I think this is inflatable airbags, good, good for landing people in weird places. I think there's a proper lander engine here somewhere. I mean, this got 0.1 kilonewton of thrust, but that's a really low amount of thrust. These are vernier thrusters from lunar landers. So is the proper lander engine in here somewhere? Is it in advanced exploration? I would say, look, safety bubbles. Also non-RP0, but it could be fun. I can't find the lander engine. We want to have it at some point, obviously. Another point where we're medium advanced is electrics. This is super useful. This has caused solar panels to work for longer, at longer distances. And we want to throw some points in here, but this is secondary as compared to, engines, capsules, stuff like that. That's what I want to do. So to recap, are we going to see big differences? No, not really. We're still working on the hydrolocks. We're going to get better hydrolocks, and then the rocket we're currently using still has a lot of upgrade potential. We can beef up the first stage, maybe with some solids. The second stage is going to get this big upgrade. Oh, what's this? Better first stage. Then at some point the first stage will probably be swapped out for something like this, like F1 engines, like the Saturn V engines. So yeah, we're gonna focus on rocket power development, and then limp along with electrics, like many horrible solar panels, and somehow, some way, proceed up this tech tree. It will be a while because the technology nodes take forever to research, and that's that. Okay, so enough talk about the science. Of course, we need the science points for it as well, which we're gonna get by sending people places, landing on them, sending probes, and doing that stuff. Speaking of probes, we have the Red Ranger 3. That's the failed Mars probe. This is the one from the last episode. Let's visit that one in a bit and see if we can make something happen at its periapsis. See if we can make a trajectory to intercept it with Mars again. And there was something else I wanted to talk to you about. So we have the technology. I can show you the Hydrolox booster that we're going to launch as soon as the heavier launch pad completes, really. So here we are in the vehicle assembly building. I will just quickly show that to you. I should clean this up at some point as well, because I don't know where it is. Hydrolox test, that's probably the one. This is currently in production in the Kerbal construction time thing. I will show you that screen. Here, this is something that happens. I have no idea why it happens. The thrust plate kind of detaches from the rocket. If you leave it like that, the rocket will work, but it looks really weird. So I always fix it, and then later it happens again. So we have a big first stage here. Let's see. See, it's full because we're counting now on a properly built launch pad. Then we have an interstage, which is again detached. And you will see this second stage is massive compared to the second stages we're used to. That's because this is a Hydrolox second stage. And because hydrogen is so not dense, what's the opposite of dense? Open? Light? I don't know. It's got a very low density. And that makes the tank huge. And these are the engines that have 10 restarts, have low thrust. So we've got a lot of engines. Will burn for a long time at high efficiency. And then we have this horrendous third stage. It's got the same AJ10 as we're used to, but it's got 3 of them and it's got more fuel. So the third stage by itself has 2.3 kilometers per second of delta V. That's really low for this second stage. But then don't forget, this one is built to take a person to the moon and back. So it's got like a lot of food and water and stuff, and it's also got room for the used food and water to go. It's got the guidance unit for the whole second stage. It's got a lot of decouplers and heat shield to go back, and of course the launch escape system. It's got a lot of stuff. And it's got 3 engines. I chose 3 because if I have one engine failure, it doesn't matter which one, and I can still have like symmetrical thrust. Because if an outer engine fails, I can disable the other one, and I'll have symmetrical thrust from the center one. If the center one fails, I'll still have symmetrical thrust because I've got 2 engines. That's the thinking there. And even with 2 engines out, I can probably still like sort of limp back with pulse burns or whatever. So anyway, more chances of survival than with just the 1 engine. That's basically the only advantage at this point that this whole high-tech Hydrolox stage gives, because you know this is going to burn at 420 seconds rather than the 320 the previous second stage burned at. But this one is burning at like 270, so all of the gains are nullified by having this bigger, inefficient third stage. It's really depressing, but you know we've got the safer engines, and our astronauts are going to thank us for that probably. Alright, so we've had the research and development building, we have the rocket. By the way, this rocket is definitely going to go up in the next episode, so check that out. Oh yeah, we were going to check out the Red Ranger 3. Let's jump to that ship. Oh, let's not do it through here. If I jump to ships through the alarm clock, sometimes it bugs out. That's weird. What else do we need to talk about? We've had a look at the money, just because it was in the screen. We're at 200,000. It's not a super high amount, but you know we've just bought the $1 million launch pad, so I feel confident. The Hydrolux rocket is a little expensive. It's about 50 grand, but the Red Rangers and the stuff we have been launching, they are like 20 a pop. So if we get into a money scrunch, we can just build some of those and get some money back. So you know, not a lot of worry there. All right, we have our satellite here. We have a connection. The delay is many seconds. Let's time warp towards periapsis. Where is it? Zooming out. Oh, we don't actually need to be at the periapsis, right, to make a oh yeah, because if we're at the periapsis, we can just ask MacJeb for a no, I don't want to set target to. I want to warp to the periapsis. If we are at the periapsis, we can ask MacJeb for a rendezvous maneuver node, and we can see if that's actually worth doing. So let's call up that perennial computer and kill our warp speed. Remove this alarm because we don't need it anymore, and we're gonna get like the rendezvous planner. What do we have? We want a rendezvous with intercept with home and transfer Mars. Yeah, there, we want to do that. Oh shit, this does not seem like a very efficient maneuver, does it? 5.6 kilometers per second. Yeah, no. This one, not so great. Not so great. This is not working properly. Ha! No. Alright, let's see if we can do better ourselves. I have the maneuver here, and so we kind of want to like modify our period. So wait, I'm doing it wrong. I want to do this at apoapsis, not here, because at apoapsis I'm at the proper Mars altitude. Oh snap. Because if I'm going to modify it here, I'm just going to lose my intercept. So I need to put a window at the apoapsis of this thing and hope that I then have a communications capability. Let's put an alarm at apoapsis. There we go. That's 278 days into the future. That's still a while into the future. That's a good opportunity to have a look at the timelines involved, because whoa, things are going to take a while from here. Let's have a look. Load back to the KSC. That's not going to be a problem, I hope. I have to say about this mod pack, it's great. I mean, obviously it's great, but it does crash sometimes, and I just hope it doesn't happen now. Yeah, let's bring up KCT. We've got in the vehicle assembly building, we've got the Hydrolux test going down. It's going to be completed in 169 days. That's good. That's good time. Spaceplane hangar is not in use. Technology, miniaturization. This is not a very interesting note, but it had some stuff for prerequisites. 500 days. The tech takes forever. Now I can purchase upgrades here, which I'm gonna do for the R&D. But they're 10 grand each, and that's not something I feel very comfortable just dishing out yet. Now, if we go to upgrades, not upgrades, I mean tech. Yeah, the launch pad, that's going to take 933 more days. And I'm assuming while it's in use, we can't use it for launching either. So we can like use this one. I purchased a second launch pad, which is something the game allows you to do. But this launch pad is also not upgraded. So we can launch like conventional Rangers from here. And I think I'm not going to do that because what I could do is like add all the rendezvous windows for Jupiter, Uranus, Saturn, Mercurius, all the other interesting places in the solar system. And that'd be great, but then I could fill like 20 episodes of just sending probes everywhere while this launch pad builds. So we're going to suspend our disbelief and time warp forwards because I want to launch this Hydrolux thing. And you know what? We can do a go-between. Yeah, let's do a go-between. Let's not go completely crazy. Let's grab the alarm clock and let's try and send a probe to Jupiter because that's a super interesting place. I have no idea about the delta V requirements. I shouldn't use this one. I should use this planner. This one is accurate. We're going to Jupiter. Yeah. Final orbit. No. Well, that's fine. Doesn't matter. Delta V is flyby is okay. No insertion burn. Initial orbit 222. I'm avoiding hitting the 0 key on the numpad because that's my recording toggle and I have made mistakes in this. So if you see me do like weird numbers that don't have zeros, that's fine. We want to go, yeah, let's plot it. Boom. How much kilometers per second of delta V do we need for this? 6,000. We have this in our rockets generally. If only just. Holy shit, that's a lot of delta V. Well, let's add the KAC alarm. When is this going down? 1 year and 185 days. That's a good time in between these things. So for now, what we can do is time warp forwards toward, let's actually, or wait, we can do the Red Rangers 3 thing, and just then I will, after this episode off screen, will make a Jupiter rocket, and then the next episode will contain, in all probability, the launch of the Jupiter scanner, and that will take years and years to get there because, come on, Jupiter, and the hydrogen oxygen test article. That's going to be an interesting article, interesting episode, I would say. So the Hydrolux test is now complete. That's just waiting another 763 days for the launch pad to happen. And we're now going to see if we can make the Red Rangers 3 intercept Mars at some point. Let's time warp more. You see, these are all the bits I'm usually cutting out, like the time warping, the planning, the designing of rockets, the R&D in all that stuff. And it's not boring. This is the stuff I think about in the shower, in the car, in downtime at work. It's like, how the hell am I going to build this space program and like not get bogged down in sending just millions of probes everywhere, which is fun in and of itself, but not really as a series where I want to go to the stars. So yeah. We're going to close the alarm. We're going to go into the tracking station. We'll visit the Red Ranger, and then we'll adjourn, and it's back to regular episodes from then on out. I must say, these ones take way shorter to produce because it's just like 20 minutes of me talking while playing the game, and then just throwing everything in the editing software and pressing the make episode button rather than all the editing. But I think the other format is much nicer because any mission takes like 1 or 2 hours, assuming they don't blow up on the pad, of course. And those videos are just plain boring. I'm not expecting you guys to watch hours and hours of maneuver node in, dragging the mouse around and stuff. Alright, back to the map view. Grabbing. Where is Mars? I'm still targeting Mars. Great. Let's ask MechJeb again. Let's see if they can make something happen. Rendezvous planner. Intercept with home and transfer. 0 meters per second. But the node happens in like 7 years. So does this mean we'll automatically like intercept in 7 years? You know what? I don't want to keep checking. I'm just going to like add this maneuver node to the alarm clock, and we'll check in 7 years. No problem whatsoever. MechJeb 7-year prediction. We'll check that. Oh, it's 6 years and 274 days. Great. We'll check that in the future. Alright, and I think with that we have achieved everything I set out to do with this episode. I hope you appreciate this like overview of the background of the space program. Please do let me know what you think about it. If you want to see more of this, less of this, once every 10 seconds is fine. You don't have to do it at all. Use the like buttons for that. Use the comments for that. I don't know, come to my house and don't come to my house. Thanks for watching this anyway. I'll see you back into the regular episodes where we're apparently sending something to Jupiter and firing some Hydrolox engines. I'm Lorenzo. Thanks for watching. Good night.